Happy Devils Friday. This is The Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 439, titled Tyler Toffoli traded to the Winnipeg Jets. I'm your host, Sam Woo, here with Vinnie, Parise of Game Day Live and pucksandpitchforks.com. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming live from the Primetime Radio Studios in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey and Chicago. Tyler Toffoli traded to the Winnipeg Jets, coming over the wire in the last 15 minutes. Well, now 20 minutes. And Vinnie, some of the details coming out on this trade, it looks like the Devils are getting assets.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't really thrilled with the way the trade is going down so far. The rumor is, actually, it seems like we are getting confirmation right now from Frank Saravalli to the Winnipeg Jets, Tyler Toffoli, back to the New Jersey Devils, a second-round pick in 2025 and a third-round pick in 2024.
That's it?
So, yeah. That's going to get a lot of hate from the Devils' point of view. There's no doubt.
It is draft capital.
Of course.
They're going to lose their second-round pick to the San Jose Sharks. Because of the Timo Meier trade, that was a conditional pick. So the Devils keep their first round, assuming that they're not going to the Eastern Conference Finals this season. So you're just making assumptions there. And then another third rounder on expiring contract, Tyler Toffoli. The optics don't really look good, but it's not bad. It just doesn't look good. I was expecting more.
We were all expecting more because of the early stages of the trade deadline season, but then a certain GM in Pittsburgh named Kyle Dubas last night traded the number one asset on anyone's trade radar. Out of all the names that were possible trade people, the number one person was Jake Gensel. You know, this is a guy who's going to score 500 career goals. Played with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and was a Stanley Cup champion. Uber popular dude. The return that Pittsburgh got for him, there was quantity, but there wasn't a whole lot of quality. I didn't look at that return and was like, holy crap, they got them? The Hurricanes kept all their best prospects. And they have to win the Stanley Cup or go to the Stanley Cup final for that to become a first-round pick. So, really? Kyle Dubas set the market back? And why would the Winnipeg Jets pay more for Toffoli than the Hurricanes did for Jake Gensel? That's just how I see it. Markets are always set and they change from day to day. And a second-round pick and a third-round pick, they're nice picks. There's no doubt. But when I'm being told the day before that it's looking like it could be the Kings and one of Kaliev or Turcotte could be coming back to the New Jersey Devils for Toffoli, I'm thinking to myself, okay, here we go. And then you watch the game last night, and Timo Meier is just unlocked by removing Tyler Toffoli from the lineup. And, I think that could be a win, an addition by subtraction, to be honest with you. Tyler Toffoli is a good player. He's leading them in goals. He's going to have more than 30 this season. But, in the long term of the New Jersey Devils, getting Timo Meier going is the most important thing. So from that aspect, it's good. But I don't have a good feeling about the return of this one. I have a feeling the discourse today is going to be a lot of negativity.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. With some of the rumors that were going around, what you could get from Toffoli, hearing L.A., hearing Boston, some of these other teams, I would have never thought the Winnipeg Jets getting in the mix, and it is what it is. Look, at least Tyler Toffoli's out of the Eastern Conference. I think maybe that's what Tom Fitzgerald was trying to do. But at the same time, I think Tom Fitzgerald could have done better. But at the same time, it's like he was saying, we want to keep him. We're listening to offers, though. And then suddenly things change after losing to the Panthers the other night. But the Timo Meier scoring a hat trick and all that, but that's just one night. I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, but if you told me over the summer that the Devils traded Sharangovich, who they weren't using, for a second and a third, everyone would have bought into it. It would have made a lot of sense. So, you could look at it from that perspective. If you weren't confident you were re-signing Toffoli and or confident you were going to the playoffs, then, maybe you take the best return. That trade deadline's fast approaching. We're under 3 hours now.
Yeah.
And, he wanted to get a deal done. They scratched him yesterday and played so well. It's one of those things. Listen, I wanted more. I'm disappointed with the trade. Do I buy into the fact that there's a possibility that that's the market and that's it? Yeah, I do. And you could say coping, whatever it is you want to say, that's fine. But, the reality of the situation is that's what they have coming back. I like when the team has more draft picks, getting those extra seconds. I mean, you see what some second round picks from last year, 2 years ago are doing in the league right now. You can turn that into something. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, Tyler Toffoli to the Jets. When I think about it for him, I think the Jets are a Stanley Cup contender, right? They're one of the top 3 teams in the Central Division. They will either come in first, second, or third. I don't think another division has a more of a the top 3 are locked in, but they could finish in any order. If the Jets win the Central, no one would be shocked. If they come in third, no one would be shocked. So obviously coming in second is a possibility too. With Colorado and Dallas, you add a forward like Tyler Toffoli, you're doing well for yourself. I mean, the Stars have added. Right? They got some, they traded for Tanev. The Colorado Avalanche have obviously added by getting Casey Middlestat and Sean Walker, and they're probably not done. While the Jets are trying to stay close to those teams, they probably added, one of the top players left available coming into trade deadline day in Tyler Toffoli, and I'm sure he'll fit right in. He's got guys like Scheifele and Kyle Connor. Some of these guys are really, really good. Nikolai Ehlers. There's a ton of talent up front for the Winnipeg Jets, and we've seen Toffoli fit in pretty quickly with the top talent that's on the Devils. So, and it didn't take like a month or any, like he was good with them right off the bat. So I assume he'll go right to Winnipeg and, play well and fit right in.
Yeah, and coming in live is Shorts Guy from the confines of his own little studio there, wherever he is at the highest point in New Jersey. Shorts Guy, welcome to the program. So, nope, there's something wrong with your audio. His mic's not hooked up. So, but yeah, so anyway, is there any information about salary retained, cap, money? This sounds like a salary dump more than anything. Reading between the lines, this looks like a cost savings move by Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment because, look, they're not going to make the playoffs. That's the mindset right now, just by percentage-wise. I'm not saying the Devils aren't going to make the playoffs. I'm just saying if you're looking at this from a business standpoint, chances are we're not going to make the playoffs. Let's collect some assets while we can, right? And let's trade Tyler Toffoli because he's most valuable to get some of these draft capital back. And also we'll have a savings of like 2 months of salary.
Yeah, which I don't really understand. I don't love that because it is just for the rest of the season and you have all this cap space. I would have loved to see them weaponize the ability to retain on Tyler Toffoli, but it doesn't sound like they did.
Yeah. And Shorts Guy, what's up?
Now he's muted.
Yeah. Hold on. I muted him this time. Yeah.
Are we good to go now, Sam?
You're good. You're in.
Good.
All right, good.
Welcome to the madness.
Yeah, seriously. It's well, it was the move that we were all hoping would not happen, but turns out it was going to happen. At least I was hoping this wouldn't happen. He goes to Winnipeg, so it's none of the rumors that we heard were true. I think that the biggest rumors we were hearing were Toronto or LA. I think, Sam, you thought last night it was definitely LA. Turns out it was Winnipeg. I don't know if anyone would have pegged Winnipeg as his landing spot.
Yeah, I mean, do you see it as a fit though?
I guess if Winnipeg's really going to push for it and they want to score like Toffoli, I'm going to be honest. I have not had a chance to look up where Winnipeg is in the standings. I'm sure you guys were talking about that,
They're
but
right in the mix to win the Central Division.
okay. So they obviously think that he's going to help put them over the edge and give them some scoring that they probably need. My first thought was when I saw that the partner was Winnipeg, was a possibility of him signing again in the offseason, because I think historically not many players tend to really want to stay in Winnipeg, and I think that's part of the organization's problem is not getting players to stay. So that's a potential positive for us as far as him coming back during the summer.
100%. Now, there are people. Tyler Toffoli wasn't a perfect player for the Devils. He scored a lot of goals. There are some hat tricks. There are some 2-goal efforts, a couple 3-on-3, or I think 1 3-on-3 overtime winner. There were times where I wondered if his speed would be an issue for the New Jersey Devils. And, you see Meyer come right in, back to being a right wing and playing on the top power play unit in Toffoli's spot, and he had a hat trick. It took
Yeah.
one game of Timo Meyer to be put in that type of position to score a hat trick. And I'm not saying he's not going to have a hat trick every game. He's not going to score every game, but he is on a 4-game goal streak. He seems healthy. And, maybe this kind of paves the way for him to kind of look like the guy that they traded for last year.
That would be fantastic if that's what he turns out to. It's his offensive output last night was fantastic. And he almost had the fourth last night too with that empty netter, but it just wasn't to be. Still, it's if he's going to start scoring and playing in the proper position now, I mean that's absolutely great. I guess with his output last night, it maybe makes it a little bit easier to not that it's easy to let someone like Toffoli go, but it makes it a little bit easier, seeing him leave and worrying about scoring. If we have Timo picking up that slack now and potentially being on that spot in the power play, then all right, it's never fun to lose a player like Toffoli, but maybe we have our fill in there with Timo, and not for nothing he signed his contract for scoring, and we're hoping that he does that going forward.
And it's a 2025 second round pick coming in and a 2024 third round pick coming in for Toffoli. There are people who said that last year's draft was like this all-time great draft. There was first round talent that bled well into the second round, and there was second round talent that bled like into the fourth round, according to scouts. They're projecting similar things for the 2025 draft. I wonder if that was a priority, but what do you take away from the return that they got for Toffoli?
I mean, it seems kind of typical for a rental on draft or trade deadline day. So would have liked to see maybe a little bit more, yeah. But that's also me, thinking about how important Toffoli's been to us this season, and on top of that, it would have been nice because we did let Sharon Govich go for him, and Sharon Govich is doing very well in Calgary. So it seems to be that, we lost both Sharon Govich and Toffoli for a draft pick this year and a draft pick next year. And the draft picks are not necessarily always, a guarantee. But then again, you look at the haul that Pittsburgh got last night, not that all those players are going to be really good. Jake Gensel, returned like 4 or 5 different players going back to Pittsburgh in that trade finally last night. So, it seems like the market's kind of all over the place with some of these with some of these trades. But I mean, I guess for a rental, it's pretty typical.
Yeah, a lot of people think Pittsburgh set the Devils back with that trade because
Really?
those guys that they got back, it's not like any of Carolina's top prospects. Like they have like 4 or 5 guys playing college hockey right now that are like, I don't want to necessarily say in contention for the Hobie Baker. One of them certainly is. But, none of these guys went back to Pittsburgh. And, Michael Bunting is like the top dog going back to Pittsburgh for Gensel. And like that first round pick isn't even guaranteed to be a first round pick. I think they have to make it to the final. It's crazy to me that they kind of set the market. I don't know if they set it back, but whatever it did, the Devils didn't get the biggest return of all time.
No, they didn't. And I'm curious if, because everything that I read leading up to this was that, the Devils were going to try to get as much as they could for Tyler. And I'm curious if there were better deals or if this was the absolute best deal that they were able to get. And if that's the case, then you know what? On an expiring contract, I don't know. It's one of those things where, unfortunately, the impact of this trade won't be seen for a couple of years down the road. That's why it's so hard to really estimate if this was a good return or not for him.
Yeah, and picture this. We all thought Winnipeg. I did. I don't know if you, Hockey on Tap, all those guys, what they thought coming into the season. You can inform me. I thought Winnipeg was going to stink this season. I really did. I was stunned that they brought back Scheifele. I was stunned that they brought back Hellebuck. I was like, are they just going to go for, mediocrity for the next 8 years? And they're a powerhouse. They could win the Stanley Cup and I'd be 0% surprised. But what if they're just coasting on good vibes right now? Next year, my prediction of them stinking actually was just a year too early. And all of a sudden that second round pick is like pick 33, 34, something like that. It's not likely, but I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to see the bright side of life over here.
Yeah, I can't really remember what I was thinking about Winnipeg. I was surprised that they brought Hellebuck back for what they signed him for, because it almost seemed like he was, he had one foot out the door. And I know that there's some turmoil going on with the fan base and ticket sales, and it just seemed like that there was a bit of a mess up there in Winnipeg. But when those fans do come out, they come out. Like I love seeing their reactions to playoff games, the whiteouts, and everything like that. So I don't know. It's Winnipeg. I feel like I want to say, I actually don't even know what to say about Winnipeg, because I can't honestly remember what I was thinking about them at the beginning of the season. Going for the Central, I don't think I ever would have thought that. But they're up there right now, and now that they've added another weapon in Toffoli, I think it's really good for them.
Absolutely. And, earlier today, there were a couple people that reported that the Devils might not be done if they move Toffoli. They're listening to offers on Brennan Smith and Colin Miller, and they benched Colin Miller yesterday. They didn't say it was for trade-related reasons, but, I mean, you can read between the lines. When you bench Toffoli, you have to say why you're benching Tyler Toffoli, because he's one of the top goal scorers on the team in the league. When you bench Colin Miller, the Devils have been rotating defensemen in and out all season long. You really don't have to specify why you're doing it. Nemitz comes in, Colin Miller's out, nobody says a word. But, I mean, if you're a team out there, Brennan Smith as a seventh defenseman, and you're a better team than the Devils, and he won't be as, exposed as he is playing on a team like this with bad goaltending. There's all sorts of ways for them to, get a deal like that done. A team getting a depth defenseman like Miller. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, bringing in Brendan Miller for any team that needs some depth defenseman would actually probably be a pretty good deal for them. His cap move, his cap amount, I don't believe is all too terrible. I was reading something earlier and I lost the article about both him and Smith being potential good depth moves. Our defense has been an issue all season, and if he's not exposed like that, maybe playing with some better guys, maybe in a third pairing there, maybe occasionally, top guy or number 4 on the on the second guy in the second pairing, he could probably do really well for a team that's not expecting him to do more than he's capable of. So it could be something that we could get actually a better return for what we sent, because I think we sent was it a 7th for him in the summer? It was something like that.
Yeah.
It was just a pick.
Something
7th.
Small. Yeah.
We may be able to. So we spent the 7th on him. We brought him in. We didn't see a lot of him this season because he was hurt for a while. And if we can maybe flip him for a third, fourth, potentially a second, I don't know if that's shooting too high for that, but we could maybe turn that 7th that we had into a higher draft pick. But at the same time, draft picks are a crapshoot unless you're going to use them as trade bait later on, which is altogether possible too.
Absolutely. Really quick before we go, is there anything elsewhere in the league that kind of caught your attention? Obviously, we touched on Gensel, but there have been some other pretty big trades going on around the NHL so far. Have you been able to kind of keep up with it?
The one here and there, the one I saw with the Kuznetsov trade, and I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong because I just can't do it right now. But yeah, that trade, he had been sent down to the AHL, and all of a sudden now he went to Carolina, I believe, right? So
yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
And I guess the Rangers just picked up someone for a 4th round pick, and Billy Dean. I don't know how to pronounce.
They got Chad Ruhwedel.
Yeah, Ruhwedel. And Billy Dean from Hockey and Tap. His response was, "I hate my team." A 2027 4th rounder.
I don't think that's a bad trade for the Rangers at all. They're adding a depth piece on defense when they have like studs like Fox and Miller. Like, I don't know. I don't compliment the Rangers unless it's like seriously worthy of compliments. And I don't know. I'd kind of be happy if I were a Rangers fan right now. I think.
I think they're Ranger fans are probably a little asking for a little bit much with what the rumors and all kinds of stuff. So who knows?
And maybe they just accepted their fate that they're just going to get dummied by Carolina in the postseason too, which we would absolutely hate to see.
Yeah, right. But it seems like Carolina is trying to make some moves in order to really kind of bolster their chances this year. So this may be their run at the Cup this year.
Yeah, and it wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, they have one of the best defense cores in the whole league. Oh no.
What?
The Devils did retain 50% on Tyler Toffoli's contract. Damn.
Well,
and all you got was a 2nd and a 3rd, and you retained 50%.
Yeah, come on. There's got to be something.
I don't love that.
I don't either. It's these type of deals that make me think like, okay, there's got to be like, all right, we'll do this for you today, but then come summertime, you've got to do this for us. Like that's the only thing that I can think of with some of these retention deals like this. Like why are we doing teams other favors? We don't need to be doing that.
And how many is that retained players for the Devils now? Because they were a broker in a trade. You can only do 3. I could look on Cap Friendly really quick. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Each team's only allowed to retain on up to 3 players. So let's see. Go to Cap Friendly. Of course, it's right now going to be. It's just the Toffoli's the 2nd because it's Tanev. Okay. It's Tanev and Toffoli now, so they could do it one more time.
And I don't get that
2.5 hours.
And I don't get the Tanev thing. Like that one, I think is the most mind-boggling to me. Why would we retain like this? Like that's a move that teams like not Anaheim, Arizona do. Like not us. Like I just don't get it. Like some of this stuff, I'm just not understanding what Fitzy's doing. There's got to be favors coming down the road. I would hope. Like Fitzy's too smart to just retain just for the sake of being a nice guy. There's got to be some kind of some kind of return coming down the road. There has to be.
Yeah, you would hope so. I mean, getting a draft pick by weaponizing your cap space, I don't hate that in any year. But you're right; it just does have like Coyotes feelings to it.
Yeah.
Like if you're retaining on Toffoli and you only got 2 picks,
yeah, like it's that's like a move that a team that needs to hit the cap floor does, not a team that's at the cap ceiling. And I just don't understand it. I just don't get it.
Here's the thing, though. The trade's not done. Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting by what I'm reading right now. The trade is not done. The fact that they're retaining on Toffoli just came out, so that could change the reported return, would be my guess. I don't know if it's going to. Neither team announced the trade. It's not. The call hasn't happened yet.
Okay. So details are still kind of coming out.
Yeah. So I don't know if that actually ends up being a good thing. I will say if they retain on Toffoli and that changes the reported return for him, I will change my mind on the trade. I will be a little more excited about it if that's the case. I don't think Winnipeg has a first round pick this year. I could actually triple check that right now. Cap Friendly is just a wonderful tool.
It really is, and I was just going there now. Yeah, because it's not even on. It doesn't even look like it's on the recent trade list on Cap Friendly either.
No, it's not. They do not have a first round pick this year. They do next year, and they don't even have their own second round pick. They do hold Montreal's, and I'm assuming that's from the Monahan trade. So,
yes, it's got to be. I mean, where even is Winnipeg? Yeah, we're kind of like doing research on the fly. Here we go. Wow, Winnipeg projected.
That's how trade shows go, man.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm just not a big fan of. It's just the retention is just not. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the retention.
Me either. Unless if you tell me they get a first round pick in 2025, I'll be all about it. But I don't love it. I don't love it at all.
Yeah, it's not conducive to being something to be excited about.
Yeah, not at all.
If I'm even saying the right word there.
It's not a bad trade. I'm not going to say it's terrible, but at the same time, when you hear all these rumors, the optics make it look really bad, and Devils retain 50% of the salary.
Well, yeah, and we were talking that might change the return. The fact that this is now coming out that they are retaining on him. Because neither team announced the trade. Reporters haven't confirmed that it's done yet. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that little wrinkle changes things.
Yeah, it might. I mean, we're going to find out. That's for darn sure. We're going to find out. We're going to find out soon. But I mean, it's got to be. We've got 2 hours and 25 minutes and 43 seconds. So we'll see. It's all got to be finalized by 3:00 today.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Well, the bell's going to ring.
Bell's ringing on my time here.
Yeah.
So I got to split.
All right. Thanks, Shorts Guy.
Thanks, Shorts Guy.
That's Shorts Guy in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. That's all I'll say.
He lives at the highest point in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's all I will say. I was sworn to secrecy.
We're all secretive about where we are. These fans are crazy.
But
they're obsessed.
If you tell me a confirmed rumor, I might give up Shorts Guy's coordinates.
Oh, Shorts Guy's location is available for purchase by giving me good scoops in my DMs. Yes.
Yeah, super chats today. So. Heck, I'll show you where he lives.
I'll give you his address, his current location, all of it. Send me a DM with a good scoop that's legit so that I could tweet it and get all the engagements. Yep. I can be bought for sure.
Yeah. Trade deadline makes me nervous.
It gives me extreme anxiety.
Especially when you're playing hooky. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Because, when I had to go off camera before, I had to take care of business and then run back to my little location.
Sam, I ran to grab some breakfast this morning, and I was worried. And Kuznetsov got traded.
Yeah.
I have articles to take care of for puckpros.com and pucksandpitchforks.com. That's my thing. And Kuznetsov traded mid-run for breakfast. Can't even go get a sandwich real quick.
Friend of the podcast, Matt firmly believes that Toffoli's numbers were a product of playing with Jack Hughes.
No.
You don't think so?
No. I'll tell you why.
Why is that?
Wait, hold on. This is football reference. I need hockey reference. Tyler Toffoli, in his career, has 253 goals. Last year, he had a career high of 34 playing with the Calgary Flames. Is Jack Hughes in Calgary? Is Nico Hischier in Calgary? No. The best playmaker in Calgary was Jonathan Huberdeau, having a terrible year last year. He had 20 with a split between Montreal and Calgary the year before in only 78 games. In 52 games, the short season, 2021, he had 28 goals with the Canadiens. He's got a couple 30 bangers with the Kings. Yeah, no. Tyler Toffoli is a very good goal scorer, and he is going to continue being a very good goal scorer for the duration of his prime. Is it nice to have playmakers like Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier? Of course it is. And Jack Hughes makes people around him better. But you need to have the ability to play with Jack Hughes. Not everybody can do it. We've seen wingers be not great with Jack Hughes. Sharon Govich wasn't that good with Jack Hughes. He was better elsewhere. A third line, driving play on his own. Playing with Jack Hughes is not for everybody. Crosby made Jake Gensel good. Wrong. Jake Gensel has 34 career playoff goals. Okay? Plenty people have tried to play on Sid's wing and failed. Really, the only players in the last decade and a half that Sidney Crosby's been in the NHL to stick on his line during the duration of their Pittsburgh tenure were Chris Kunitz and Jake Gensel. Those are the only two. Everybody else tried and failed. Phil Kessel couldn't even hang with Crosby. He had to be on his own line. He barely was able to hang with Malkin. Playing wing on a skilled centerman's line is not easy. Tyler Toffoli can do it. He'll go to Winnipeg and have a great time with Scheifele. I'm very confident in that.
Mm-hmm. Well, so we don't have a team announcement, do we?
No, it's going to be a minute. I can't even publish to Puck Pros right now because I got unconfirmed details of the trade, and I'm not publishing until it's like truly taken care of.
Well, that sucks. Or is this the typical Devils? They wait till their content team is ready and then they'll announce it.
It's becoming a trend in the league though, and it started last year. Remember, Timo Meier was coming to the Devils at like 3 in the afternoon, and then it was like 9 o'clock when we found when it became officially official, and you found out exactly who was going where. That kind of happened this year. Jake Gensel was traded to Carolina during our show yesterday, but we didn't get the final details and who's going back to Pittsburgh till like midnight. So that's kind of becoming the way of the league.
So now, Tom Fitzgerald, what's his goal here? He is stockpiling on draft capital, right? Does that mean there's a package coming to bring a goaltender in?
I wonder. It wouldn't shock me. I heard late last night that Boston and New Jersey were talking. The trade call is complete. The Devils trade Tyler Toffoli to the Winnipeg Jets for a second in 2025, a third in 2024. New Jersey is retaining 50% of Toffoli's remaining salary.
And is that by who?
That is from Darren Dreger.
Darren Dreger. Okay, so it's done.
Yep. To answer your question, though, while you think about that, it wouldn't shock me if they trade for a goalie. They're not going to tank. Nobody in New Jersey's thinking about Macklin Celebrini or Cole Yzerman or anything like that. Even though if the season were to end today, I think they would be in position to go for that. I don't know if the win yesterday changes that. I could actually check right now. Yes, they could, in theory, win the draft lottery, but it's like a 3% or less than 3% or whatever. I've clicked it 4 times, still haven't hit. It's possible, but I don't. Oh, I just hit it, and they got the second overall pick. That was my first time getting them a win in it. But, the simulator that they do. But, I mean, they're not going for that. They're going for the playoffs. I did say if they win 5 in a row, they would probably be in a playoff spot. And they got 1 out of 5 done. Now, you got Carolina, who's loading up, and the Rangers, who are loading up as your next 2 games. Not likely, but I don't think tanking or aiming for a top 10 pick is on Tom Fitzgerald's mind right now. It's how do we stack ourselves with the best odds to start next season strong? And in his opinion, that's got to be getting a goalie, getting healthy, playing well down the stretch, getting Timo Meier going. If Timo Meier ends this season with 28 goals, and that means he was hot as heck down the stretch, I think that means that he'll be going to the summer hungry to start in October. So that would be my goal if I was him. Finish this season strong and put yourself in a position to get back at it next year with the same intentions that you had this year.
A lot of people are just not a fan of this move. Paul Viken, Pulp Mystic, Eric. Tom is asking, is it too late to cancel my season ticket renewal? No, they extended the opt-in to March 15th.
What was the question?
Is it too late to cancel? He renewed his season tickets.
Oh. Don't cancel. I'll say that. I wholeheartedly believe in this young core. This season is sucked.
You know what? I don't think fans. The animosity is really it's a lot of it's towards Fitzgerald, but a lot of it is towards corporate. You know what I mean? The way the reps are, constantly badgering you to buy more, raise ticket prices 10 to 12%, across the board. They're kind of phony on the phone when they try to talk hockey. I'm just being honest here.
That's fair.
I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm just saying they're not hockey people. And the one thing about New Jersey, and I don't think ownership group understands this, out of all the teams that have bought, all the professional sports franchises they bought, New Jersey is one that people from New Jersey can smell a phony from a mile away.
Absolutely.
And they're never, Tom Fitzgerald is pretty transparent, which, I'll give him that much credit for. In his press conferences, they're carefully worded, but just like any other press conference, but you kind of know where he stands, and sometimes you're a little surprised what he says. But when it comes to, the Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment, I could care less about them. I want Jeff Vanderbeek back. I'd rather be poor and have Jeff Vanderbeek back.
That's very fair.
Or the McMullen family. Because it used to be when you dealt with the front office and when you dealt with season ticket reps, it was a family-oriented approach. You knew who you were going to if there was a ticket that needed to be resolved. Now there's so much turnover. I think I've had probably about 10 season ticket reps since this new ownership group, whereas before I only had maybe 2 people. So when I became a season ticket holder in 2000, till Harris Blitzer bought the team, I only had 2 reps the entire time, and one quit because he saw what was coming when Harris bought the team. He got out when he did, and I'm so happy for him. And then after the first year of that ownership group, they fired a lot of people, long-time people. After they took over, they figured out how the team was run, and then they fired everybody. And brought in people from they only hire people outside of New Jersey, not from New Jersey, which is even odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is odd.
Yeah.
Well, you might be onto something, Sam.
Oh, I'm my conspiracy theories. I was even watching that other podcast, Running with the Devils, and whatever he's saying, it resonates with me, and I love it because I thought I was the only, dumbass that thought these things. But anyway,
It's funny.
Brian Tavares says, Sam, we just got fleeced. Fitz lost his own game. Ramona Rice says, are you coming back later? Yeah, we're going to try our best. We're going to try our best because there's going to be more moves. But I think what we're going to do, because trade deadline is very unpredictable, most likely, there's going to be other moves like Colin Miller and Brendan Smith, supposedly. Maybe some surprise in the mix. Who knows? Maybe they'll go after a goalie. You never know. If it's magic, it could happen. But we might do a recap tonight after the dust settles as well. But, we'll do our best, as time goes along. But, honestly, it's not a bad move. But at the same time, I was expecting more. Maybe
That's how I feel.
But maybe it's because of the expectations, because you've seen Gerald fleece other GMs. Maybe they're on to him right now, and that's the best he could do, with Tyler Toffoli. Maybe that's the best he could do. But, again, some teams are they know that time was actually running out on Fitzgerald to get a deal done. And he probably wanted to concentrate on other deals, and he needed the assets now. If he's going to take those assets that he just got out of this deal, if he was going to flip it for a goalie. You never know.
We shall see. We have just above 2 hours remaining.
Yeah. Let's see. And Shorts Guy just texted, the Devils just tried to call me about tickets. You can't make this stuff up.
I would just give those people the day off.
You know what? One of these days, you know what we should do? We should do prank phone calls, like on April Fools. Like, say if the Devils are really bad, and we pretend to be Devils reps calling season ticket holders, trying to sell them playoff tickets rounds 1 and 2, when everybody knows that they're almost mathematically eliminated. Like
That's
those
awesome.
Z Morning Zoo shows, they have those phone scams or whatever. I think that'd be funny.
That would be funny.
When
I'm here for it.
When they get on their fake voice, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. Hi, this is Sam from the New Jersey Devils. How are you today? Well, the team is doing very well. We are 6 points out of a playoff spot, but we are surging. We just fired the coach. Management understands your concerns. So, but if you want to put 20% down for next year, 2024-25 season, you get playoff priority for the year after. But this is just a bump in the road. So when do you want to sign right now? Oh, by the way, we have your credit card on file. So if you don't tell us in 10 days, we will automatically charge your card. That's what it's like.
Yeah, that's annoying. That would bug the crap out of me.
Yeah. I love it when they call, though, because they have, their talking their memo, their talking points. And it's like, well, have you ever picked up a hockey stick before? Oh, no. I'm not from New Jersey. I just got this job right out of college.
And they got to deal with Sam Wu.
Yeah. Actually, I'm very nice.
Of course.
I am very nice. The only time, and, I told my rep this. She didn't do it. But I told my rep my concerns. I said, look, that last Devils-Rangers game concerns me. Because that was the game where they almost toppled a speaker over Chico Resch on the big stage. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, you guys ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You close all the concession stands, but you could sell booze. Do you know what booze and an empty stomach can do to the opposing team that you sold all the tickets to? It's not good. Can you relay that to management? Oh, yeah, I'll definitely relay to management. No, of course she didn't, because I didn't get a call back. Anyway, I don't mean to make trade deadline like my grievances with season ticket holders, but I think it's funny I think it's funny that Shorts guy got a call.
That is just
Bizarre.
I feel like trade deadline day should be like business operations are closed today.
Yeah. Should be like the Monday after a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yes.
Day off.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to shut it down, but we could come back as news breaks as well. Just want to thank all those tuning in. Just remember to joinourcrew.com. Go to joinourcrew.com. Get the latest on our live events. Sign up. We're going to Arizona and Vegas. Also, March 23rd, potentially, we might have a big stage event outside of American Whiskey for the Devils take on the Ottawa Senators. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Let's Go Devils, on X at Let's Go Devils Podcast, Facebook at Let's Go Devils, no, X is at Let's Go Devils Pod, and on Facebook at Let's Go Devils Podcast and Twitch as well. And also Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music Prime, Audible, which this podcast will be on in about 20 minutes. But I just want to plug that there. Also go to pucksandpitchforks.com. Any final thoughts, Vinny?
Yeah, keep with the Let's Go Devils podcast social feeds and our potential live shows later today if anything happens. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, set those alerts. And, well, thank you to Shorts Guy for making time from his busy day coming here on the podcast. You too, Vinny. When news broke, it's a scramble.
Yep.
To get on air. You literally have to drop everything, set up everything. There could be technical glitches because we do everything live. There's no edits here. No edits here.
As you could tell by all the muting and sound issues and
yeah, we can't even do a tech check.
Yeah. They're just lucky we kept our shirts on this time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Beer Baron's not here.
Yeah. All right, we're going to head out. Keep it here. Keep it real. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.